So, Mr. Davis, give us a brief history of the Pan-African Festival. Brief.
I got control of the mic. I'm going to do what I want to do, huh? Amen. All right, this is the 19th annual Pan-African Festival, which the African American students came up with to honor their ancestors. One of the primary folks that became the focus and why it's always the third week in February is that had there not been a Malcolm, Martin Luther King would not have been as strong in terms of making the changes in the civil rights movement. But as you can see, had there not been a Frederick Douglass, neither one of them would have had the shoulders to stand upon to try to make the necessary changes that have occurred in this country. You don't see change overnight. It takes a lot of time. Most of us may not see the real change where we can really reach out and touch everybody's hand, as Martin Luther King said in his famous I Have a Dream speech. So it began, and the students they had plays, they had performances, as you're about ready to see. But at the same time, the very first year that I got here in '91, we had an artist amongst us as a staff member here. She did Juanita Kidd Stout, that portrait. She did Garrett Morgan, the founder of the stoplight and the gas mask. She did Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks over there behind our dear drummer. You have Marian Anderson, the singer from here in Philly, and Henry Ossawa Tanner. Then you also have over here the 41st and 42nd Congress. Those are the first African Americans who were in Congress trying to help make the laws that we would live by to this day. Then you have Daniel Hale and Charles Drew. Charles Drew, just in case you didn't know, died as a result of not being able to use the process that he created, blood transfusions for the blood plasma. But he could not go to the hospital as an African American man. So he's helped most of us to survive and thrive in this world as well. So all of these folks were significant. But I want to recognize Minister Ruth Jordan, who is the artist that the African American Student League commissioned and pastor. She's corrected me, as she usually does. Come on, Ruth, please stand up. And we want to take a second, 1 second, and then we're going to move on. Talk about what the students said to you, because it was before my time.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here at this time, and it's really touching for me because at one time this would not have occurred. Because when I was working here, there was they called it the Black Student Union. it was hated, it was not accepted, and it was difficult, as was my years here. I am just so happy because people like Dr. King and all the men and women that Mr. Davis spoke about influenced me and inspired me to fight for what was right. Now, I'm happy today when I come to see all of this, because when I came here, there was only 5 black employees, and women were not really that welcome. But it chokes me up to know that there's a president that's a female, and to see so many African American staff members and students. I paid a high price for that, but I would do it again. And it's not a thing that I was angry, it was, I knew what was right, and I fought. And as a result, a year after, I painted these paintings, and the students were able to hang it called the Wall of Heroes, and that's where they hung for a long time. So now they're off the wall, and I don't know where they're going to go, but if y'all don't want it, I'll take it.
Thank you, Ruth. One other thing I'll say about it is that when those portraits went up, folks thought that they would not be up there more than about 6 months. They stayed up there easily 19 years. You all should ask that they be put up again somewhere, because it takes students to make that happen.
Okay, now for the next situation that's going to happen is we're going to have a poem. Delara, who I do not actually know. Well, I know you now. And she will be doing the poem, and she will be closely followed by Grace. Okay? Because we had to bump it up on the schedule. All right? All right.
Hi, my name is Delara Scott, and I'm performing a poem called I Want to Write a Poem. The tongue is a weapon, and I choose to use it wisely. The tongue is a weapon, and I choose to use it wisely. The tongue is a gun, and poetry are the bullets. When I put the two together, I shoot the world with my words and strike each person that comes my way with inspiration, motivation, and love. I want to write a poem. Not to just express my deepest inner thoughts, but to speak for those who can't be heard. To use my words to advocate for those who are misunderstood and overlooked. To express love and hate. To argue politics. To tell the world who God is and what He is capable of doing. I want to write a poem. To bring light into the darkness. To help motivate and build up the black community, because I feel we are falling. Too many of us is letting the system get to us and bring us down. I want to write a poem, to share my artistry, share a laugh, share a story, shed a tear, clear my mind. But most of all, I want to write a poem because it is what I was called to do. The words that I write, the words that I'm saying are not my own, for they are the Lord's, and I allow Him to use me to speak to His children that needs a little uplifting. I want to write a poem because the tongue is a powerful tool. It can be smooth as honey or it can strike you like a sword. The tongue can create peace and it can create war. I am a soldier for the Lord. I battle with my words and not with my fists, because my words are stronger than a punch and my voice will push you harder than a kick. I want to write a poem because the poem is like a gun and poetry is like a gun. And my words will shoot. I'm sorry, I'm messing up.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I want to write a poem because the tongue is like a gun and poetry are the bullets. When I put the two together, I shoot the water with my words and strike each person that comes my way with inspiration, motivation, and love. I want to write a poem. Thank you.
next performance is actually a song, so if the people eating could minimize your chatter as much as possible. And the name of the song is Hate That I Love You, which I don't know. But but it's my favorite couple singing it, so they're going to come up and they're going to sing it.
That's how much I love you. That's how much I need you. And I can't stand you. Must everything you do make me want to smile. Can I like you for a while?
No, but you won't have me. You upset me, girl. Then you kiss my lips. All of a sudden I forget that I was upset. Can't remember what you did.
But I hate it. You know exactly what to do, so that I can't stay mad at you for too long. That's wrong.
But I hate it. You know exactly how to touch, so that I don't wanna fuss or fight no more. Said I despise that I adore you.
And I hate how much I love you, boy. I can't stand how much I need you.
I need you.
And I hate how much I love you, boy. But I just can't let you go. And I hate that I love you so.
Ooh, you completely know the power that you have.
Power that you
You're the one that
have.
makes me laugh.
I said it's not fair how you take advantage of the fact that I love you beyond the reason why. And it just ain't right, no.
How much I love you, girl. I can't stand how much I need you.
Yeah.
And I hate how much I
You a
love
star?
you,
You
girl.
come on back. You a star.
But I just can't let you go. And I hate that I love you so.
One of these days, maybe your magic won't affect me, and your kiss won't make me weak.
But no one
In this world knows me the way you know me.
So you'll probably always have a spell on me. Yeah. Ooh, oh, yeah.
That's how much I love you.
How much I need you.
How much I need you.
How much I love you.
How much I love you.
Oh, I need you.
How much I need
I
you.
need you.
And I hate that I love you so. I can't stand how much I need you.
How much?
And I hate how much I love you, boy. But I just can't let you
No, I
go.
just can't let you go.